So let's bring in Ren McEachran, who is a former FBI supervisory special agent, Nick Barrero, certified audio-video forensic analyst and chief forensic analyst at Principal Forensics, and Teresa Payton, CEO of the cybersecurity for Fortalice Solutions. She's a former White House chief information officer. It's great to have all of you with us. Thank you very much for being here. Ren, let me start with you. You know, the thing that I keep writing in my notes as I hear all this and I watch all of this, right? The analysis that we're seeing that's done now, the tent that goes up, analysis potentially of these blood spots. It feels like it's taken a long time to seal off this area and get in there and preserve this, and to preserve any video that might be within 2 miles of these houses. Your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, I know it's frustrating and for the public to watch law enforcement work this way, but sometimes we don't have all the information. Now, keep in mind, we're bringing in 18,000 reported leads so far since that video has been released. And what's happening is they're also getting updated information. Hey, I saw a vehicle stopped over here on the side of the road. Hey, I noticed this little object over here. And so you're seeing the tasking of agents on actionable intelligence to go and collect that new information. But I agree, it is frustrating to see all these things that should have been or could have been done earlier. But in hindsight, we have to always trust the law enforcement. But I still believe, based on the beginning of this investigation, that things started way too slow. And some of the reporting is that there was a disconnect between the sheriff's office and the FBI, which is unacceptable. We don't have time of luxury. We have to move quickly on this case. So I can see why it's frustrating.
Yeah, Nick Barrero, you look at that tent that went up in front of the house today, and I think about all the people who were going up to that front door. And, you know, pizza delivery at one point to a reporter, back and forth. And now they sealed it off this morning and tried to, I would imagine, you know, take pictures in there, get anything they could forensically from that area.
Yeah, my guess is that the blood, the fibers, all of that type of forensic stuff was already done. Mm-hmm. And this tent is up specifically for the forensic video analysts to get in there and do their work. So, excuse me. So what they're going to be doing in there almost certainly is using a LiDAR scanner to create a 3D model of that porch. And then they can use that 3D model in combination with the surveillance footage that we've already seen, and they can take some very accurate measurements within that 3D space. Now, we also saw the scale, the height chart that was used. That would have been for an exemplar recording that they would have made by mounting an identical camera on the wall. We know that that camera was tampered with, it was removed, but they could mount an identical camera in the same space and use that camera to make some exemplar recordings with a scale exactly where this suspect was seen standing, and then they can overlay that scale on the surveillance video and get, again, a very accurate measurement of that suspect based on that height chart.
So, Teresa, you know, one of the big questions is obviously what is being held close to the vest. We still don't know how this individual got into the house. There, at least we haven't learned of a forced entry into the house, may exist. This is Eric O'Neill, a cybersecurity expert, talking about the potential that there's also audio that could be forensically pulled off of the video that was released the day before yesterday. Watch this.
I would bet that the FBI has audio related to that video that they haven't released. The only reason they wouldn't have it is if somehow the audio was separately corrupted from the video when they recovered that video. That particular Ring camera has a battery. It's very possible that as that criminal carried the Ring camera with him, it recorded additional audio after he ripped it off the wall.
Teresa, your take on where this investigation likely is right now, based on all the input we've just put out there today?
Yeah, so there's probably still a lot of information that law enforcement is not sharing with the public because they don't want to tip their hand to the abductors who did this. But it is interesting with the recovered video, there may also be recovered audio, more recovered video that hasn't been shared with the public. What we see could help the public identify. And then, of course, they could be on site right now, like my fellow panelists said, sort of recreating some of the events. They could be using AI to enhance the imagery that we see. I used AI on my own, just sort of looking at, could I unmask the person? How could you match up the eyes with other eyes? And so a lot of that work might be being done while that tent is there, to sort of give the investigative team not only time to get more forensic evidence, but to also do some experiments and some testing without the public being able to see it, because we don't want to tip our hands to the abductors.
Teresa, real quick, would you expect that we will see a sketch? I mean, my whole life, whenever there's been a manhunt for an individual like this, eventually you get some sort of picture of what they've put together.
Yeah, what I would expect to see in an investigation like this, especially with AI, we will probably have traditional police sketch artists do person of interest sketches. And it would be interesting to also allow AI to do that and give the public the caveat that AI does hallucinate, AI does get it wrong, but to offer as many images as possible to the public to see if we can identify who this person is so we can find Nancy.
Thank you all so much, Ren, Nick, and Teresa.